Excuse me. Pardon me.
Hey, sit down.
Okay, so let's talk about celebrity Kickstarters. Celebrity Kickstarters in general, some people don't like them. Some people think that because these are people who generally already have a lot of connections to be able to raise money, through more mainstream traditional ways, that they shouldn't be on Kickstarter, because this is a place for people who don't have those resources and need a place to be able to connect with money-making sources. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. One of the beautiful things I think about Kickstarter is that it does give artists of all sort of socioeconomic and popularity status, like the opportunity to be able to raise money for their projects. So I think that that's kind of one of the beautiful things about Kickstarter, is that it does giving an equal opportunity to these people who are more well established and recognizable, and also to the people who are not. There seems to be some sort of popular idea that if people who are famous do a Kickstarter, it'll somehow hurt people who are not famous. Like it'd be stealing the money that would have gone to them or something like that. But what's interesting is if you read some of the posts that Kickstarter themselves have put on their blog, the opposite is actually true. If you've donated to a Kickstarter yourself, you probably already understand this, but when someone donates to a Kickstarter, they're more likely to donate to another one again. And so that's what makes it actually positive and actually helpful when celebrities do Kickstarters, because they are bringing in all these people who would not have heard about Kickstarter, would not have known what a Kickstarter was, from the mainstream, and pulling them into this world. And there's a huge percentage of people that have donated to these really celebrity Kickstarters to then gone on to donate to smaller Kickstarters as well, because they've become interested in what's going on and become interested in the idea of Kickstarter in general. Part of the reason why we're talking about this, why this has come up, is because there's been several celebrity Kickstarter movie things recently. Zach Braff did one where he wants to make a spiritual successor to Garden State, as well as the Veronica Mars Kickstarter, both of which were crazy, made tons and tons of money for the artists, and people are really excited about them. And then a week or two ago, Spike Lee comes out with a Kickstarter. What he did wrong, I think, is he didn't give enough information what the project actually was, and it made him. He basically says, he's updated it since he first helped publish it, but he basically says, like, look, you have to trust me that the work that I've been doing in the past is good enough and that you like it enough to be able to trust me to do something, even though you won't know what it is. And the only thing he said about the project is that it's quote unquote a thriller, which is something that Spike Lee has never really done before. And so like what the movie actually will be like at all is completely like up in the air. It's up for grabs. Like nobody really knows what the hell to expect about it. And I think that is really, he's shooting himself in the foot with that, because it's going to make people hesitant to donate to it because they don't know what they're donating it to. And then also I think that it made him come across as really arrogant, and it made him come across as like, just donate, and he's asking for a lot of money. He's asking for over $1 million. It's not like, the humble little Kickstarter that asks for a couple thousand and they get like 10 times what they asked for, and it's like amazing. It's the opposite. It's this guy's asking for a crazy shit ton of money, and people are put off by it because they're like, this guy is not even telling me what his project is. He's just saying like, you should donate to me because it's me. Because the Kickstarter started out with such criticism, I think that also really hurt it, because normally what happens with Kickstarters, even celebrity Kickstarters, is they get a real boom in the beginning and people are like, oh my god, and they share it with everybody on social networks, and like it sort of takes off from there, and it's the whole idea of it starting with a kick, and the momentum builds and people get more and more excited about it, because Kickstarter has this ability where you can add in updates and, change things and then send out emails to all the backers and stuff like that. So I think that because he did it this way, and because it got so much negative attention in the beginning, it's not going to have the same momentum building effect, and that's going to really hurt it as well, I think. And just really in general, Spike Lee's Kickstarter, it doesn't have that honest personal connection that, the Zach Braff Kickstarter, the Veronica Mars Kickstarter, dozens and dozens and dozens of other Kickstarters have. And that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole reason why people love it. That's the whole reason why people get into this so much, is because there's something fascinating about Kickstarter in that it really does give you when you donate directly to the artist, it gives you a real sense of community with the other people that are donating, and also a real sense of connection to the artist and to the project itself. And you feel a sense of ownership to what it is. And it's so much more strangely inclusive when you cut out the middleman. There's something really sort of weird and magical and really honest and personal about that. And Spike Lee's Kickstarter is lacking in that respect. And he just comes off as really arrogant and being like, oh, your top prize for donating like $10,000 is to hang out with me. I don't know. So I think that that's part of where he went wrong. Celebrity Kickstarters in general, though, are not inherently bad. Not inherently a bad idea. If anything, it's probably going to, in the long run, help Kickstarter as a platform and help other smaller Kickstarters get more attention and get more funding.
Hey guys, Alec Kubasmeyer here. That was Liz Rugg doing as an extended response to our weekly The Question video. The question being, what do you think of celebrity Kickstarters? If you want to hear the rest of our responses, that can be found here somewhere in a box. This is something new we're trying. We've never had an extended response to one of these before. If you liked it, if you want us to do more of those, maybe we can. Depends on if people have more to say. Either way, you should definitely subscribe to our channel. That should be a black box up here somewhere. If you haven't already exited out, you should definitely subscribe. Doing more stuff every week. So thanks guys.